Twitchfest The Unpardonable. They presented me with the keys to the city. I mean the bald one, the moron, and the drooling dwarf, his concubine. The blue enameled walls shone like knives with a desert sun, and we limped across the ropen bridge like a team of high-born mutants, I, my jangling weapon at my side, causing the blind men to stop and ponder. A slab of lapis and marble rose before our sweated brows, and I mistook for crying what was fear among that blasted crowd of gargoyles they called citizenry. At last, a one-legged crow with a look of crutches in his eyes, enthroned upon a branch of onyx, was revealed to us. In his parched and yellow-leathern beak he bit a scroll of aged paper. Mute he was, and at his sight the dumb populace back-shrank, groaned and trembled. I know not how many there were, but there was an odd number of eyes assembled, you may be sure. A castrated giant, bald as my moron guide and oiled, naked save for a loincloth, took the scroll, spat upon it, unraveled and read their law. The populace drooled at the foretold punishment and leaned throneward again. I was given a bottle of some warped liquid and bade quench my thirst for liquor. Mud would have soothed at least my hunger more. It was then I swore to relieve each and every one of them of his head. But first I would outsearch their treasure, perhaps take the bald one with me. Ah, what a Twitchfest lay in store for me! Of this I will tell you, but I must redress my wounds. Here my new-found companion moved closer to the fire and applied a silvery ointment to the wounds upon his arm. He then settled back against the rock and resumed his tale, the fire flickering in his eyes. Their treasure was covered in the dust of centuries. When I finally came upon it, fast within the enameled walls of blue, I thought the bald one had misled me in spite for my having separated him from his drooling mate. But no, he was loyal, and my will was stronger. I loaded every goblet and every shard of that once noble and famed hoard upon the backs of the many bison, and hacked my way through the hollow and bony crowd. Once out the gates, I severed the rope and bridge, and made quick through the dunes. So long to return to Dronheld, so long through the wastes, my trusted servant perished through the passes of Al-Kathun. The mountain air proved too thin for his bulky frame. He wept sore for the drooling dwarf, his concubine, who had proved more loyal than he. 3 further plateaus, and I was accosted by marauding bands, many of whom the bones I crushed with the weapons of the horde. At last they proved too many, and stripped me of my trinkets. They are dispersed by now among those hills of hazed blue. On I stumbled and through the last pass, at the foot of which I met you and your fire of orange. I am asleep now. Saying which his eyelids closed, and he spake no more.